Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Natasha Denona Glam face and eye palette, and it's the light one. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. It would mean so much to me. And now let's get right into the video. So I'm not gonna bore you much. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is gorgeous, as you can see. It is very slick. It has the Natasha Denona logo raised right here. Glam palette. It is kind of like a cell phone, as you can see. This is my cell phone and this is what the palette looks like. So it's more like a pro. This is not the pro version. It's very beautiful. This is made in Italy, and inside, I'm sure you guys have already seen this, are those beautiful neutral shades with the cream blush and the beautiful highlighter new formula. Now we have a cream blush, we have the beautiful Japanese technology highlighter, and we have the 5 neutral shades. And I love that they actually, a lot of people don't like this, but I think this is very user friendly. And I love that it says inner corner, transition, crease, outer corner, and smoke. And I'll make sure to follow this. This comes with a flap. I'm sure you guys seen it already, to protect the only cream product in here. And that's the blush. So what I have on my face right now is just foundation and bronzer. And for bronzer, of course, I've used another Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek palette. I love Natasha Denona everything. Like, I don't think I came across a product that I didn't like. Let's get into the complexion first, since we have the bronzer. So I'm gonna get into this beautiful blush. Now I want to remind you guys, if you guys have the Rose Ink blush, and this is in Foxglove, I want to show you how very similar these shades are. There you go. Here, do you guys see that? This is so similar from the actual texture to the actual product being a cream product. So let me show you. I'm gonna swatch the Rose Ink blush. Here is the Rose Ink. I'm gonna clean my finger and I'm gonna swatch the Natasha Denona. Okay, so the Natasha Denona feels very powdery at first, but they say you have to remove the first layer to get to the cream product, which I see. I'm gonna show you guys. So you have to warm up the product like this, and now you get to the cream product. Now let's see. Now here we have the Natasha Denona, and here we have the Rose Ink. I guess Natasha Denona pulls in warmer. Rose Ink pulls... No, Natasha Denona is more... They're so similar, so hard to tell. Natasha Denona is more of a terracotta shade, and this is more a pinky shade, but they look so similar in the pan. So just something that I've noticed. And with Natasha Denona's blush, it's more of a thicker formula. It seems like it's powder, but you have to kind of scrape off the first layer, and this Rose Ink is more balmy, so keep that in mind. So let's apply this with a brush. I'm going to use this Co Beauty brush. She says to apply it with a sponge, so I'm going to use a brush on one side and I'm going to use a sponge on the other and see how it looks. So on the right side, I'm going in with this brush. So you can see on the cheek is a little bit more pinkish, even though in the pan it looks more like a brown terracotta shade. It's a very, like I said, it's not balmy. It doesn't give you that balm feeling on your face. However, you can still see your skin through, and it's a little bit of a highlighting product, but not too much. And I'm gonna go in with a sponge and add it. Ooh, picked up a lot. Add it with a sponge on this cheek, as she recommends to use this product with a sponge. and I can automatically see that with a sponge it's more glowy, more natural looking than with a brush. With a brush, it's still applied very nice, but if you want more of a glowy, buildable look, you apply it with a sponge. So here's with the sponge. You can see the glow shining through. And here is with the brush, not as much glow. Now I'm gonna use the sponge and kind of blend it on this cheek as well so that I can keep it consistent on my face. Now this is a beautiful, beautiful blush. I just love the shade. I love the texture, everything about it. There's nothing not to like. I know for sure I'm gonna love this palette. I love all the shades in here. I love Natasha Denona. 100% I'm gonna love everything. But let's keep going. I'm gonna use a Moda BMX Glow brush. And I'm gonna jump into this highlighter right here. And let's see. Okay, so a little goes a long way. Look at that. So whatever I've left on the brush, I'm gonna apply it here. Now this formula, I do have her other highlighter, but this formula, let me tell you how I can describe it. It looks very similar to the blush, how it looks in the pen. It looks like it's a powder slash cream product. However, this is a powder product. When you pick it up on the brush, it doesn't look like a lot comes on it. However, when you put it on the cheek, you can see the actual product. So when I picked it up on the brush, it didn't look like anything picked up. I don't know if you guys can see the little sparkles in there. Doesn't look like there's much. But when I apply it, look at that. So keep that in mind. I love this formula, love it. This is so worth it, this palette, just for getting it for that highlighter. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so now let's move on to the eye section. And I'm gonna follow exactly what the palette tells me to do. I'm gonna remove this film off of the mirror so that I can start using the mirror. It is very beautiful, very beautiful. And the weight is just perfect for traveling. It's just not too heavy and not too light. I just love it. Okay, so let's get into the eyes. So I'm gonna go into the transition shade. A lot of people say that the transition shade looks too light. So let's try it. So the transition shade is the one that says transition. Another thing to notice is that I've heard that people said that the writing on the palette, they double write it and it fades away, like it smudges. I don't have that problem, so just to keep that in mind, that people have mentioned that some of their palettes, they tried to double write the writing, like overlap them, and it created some smudging on the writing. So I don't have that problem, so it's probably a defective palette in that case when it comes to the writing, not to the formula or anything. So let's go into this transition. Now keep in mind, Natasha Denona is very pigmented. The shades show up a little bit darker on your eyelids than they show in the pan. So let's apply this as the transition color. Actually, I need a bigger brush for this. So I'm gonna use this Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush right here. So this is what this shade looks like on my skin tone. These shades look very warm tone. However, when Natasha Denona did her look on her channel, I've noticed that they looked more silvery and more cool tone. So keep that in mind. So all I have on my eyelids is my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. No, not in the shade Painterly. In the shade Soft Ochre. Very, very beautiful. I love Natasha Denona. I got her Glam palette too. I don't know if you guys saw my VIB sale haul. So I got her actual big glam palette and I'm so excited to use it. I just can't wait. So this is what the transition shade looks like on my eye. It's a perfect transition shade for my skin tone. Now I'm gonna go into the next shade, which is the crease shade right here, and I'm gonna add this in the crease, and I'm gonna go in with a smaller Real Techniques brush. This is the Essential Crease brush. So let's see. I guess I forgot to do the swatching. I'm gonna swatch everything right after. Ooh, this is so pretty. Definitely a little bit darker than the transition shade, which is that's what we want in the crease. I actually really love that she named this way. It's just something different, you know. It doesn't have to be like all the other palettes and have all these weird names that you'll never remember. But I really love this idea because this is very user-friendly, from the shade color to the actual names and placement on where to add them. I think it's very user-friendly. So let me do some swatches for you guys. I'm gonna swatch the highlighter. Beautiful highlighter. Look at that glow. And I'm gonna swatch the blush right beside it, so you guys kind of have an idea how this swatch as well. They're just so pretty, aren't they? Beautiful shades. I love those shades. And now let's go in with the actual eye makeup and swatch those. So I'm gonna swatch the shimmers first. This is the inner corner right here. Inner corner, beautiful. And I'm gonna put the outer corner right above it, so you guys can see those shades close together. And underneath I'm gonna do the mattes. So I'm gonna start in with the, let me dry my hands, transition. Very soft mattes, very soft. I don't want to push too hard. Crease. I always forget to do swatches for you guys. And then smoke. Wow. This is such a beautiful formula. And here is the whole palette, eye palette on my hand. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous. Okay, so let's move on to the crease and finish this crease and intensify it a tiny bit more. Of course, they blend wonderfully. Now let's go into smoke. So I'm going to use the same brush. Smoke is the last shade down here. And let's add this in the outer corner. Actually, no, I'm going to use this flat Real Techniques brush. This is called Real Techniques brush number 307. Oh, it says right here, shading brush. So I'm going to add that to the outer corner. So build it slowly so that you don't create any fallout. Yeah, so this is slightly darker than the crease shade because this is used to smoke out the outer corner here. I'm gonna do something different. So I'm gonna smoke out the outer corner and I'm gonna use the same shade for the inner corner, and then gonna do it in the inner corner as well. Don't worry, we're still gonna use everything else. And I'm gonna go, it says outer corner shade right here, so they seem crumbly. So what I like to do is kind of press like this instead of drag. So I press like this, try to pick it up on my finger slowly, and put this in the middle of my eye. Just like that. So if you go slowly, there shouldn't be much fallout. It is very glittery, very sparkly, and I love it. You can slowly build it up. So don't try scoop it with a, my suggestion is not to use a brush and scoop it and put it on, or scoop it with your finger, because you create kind of a mess inside the palette and on your eye as well. So I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. Okay, so now get a small blending brush. I'm going to use the one that I used in my crease and kind of blend the outer corner a bit more and the inner corner. And now I'm going to go into the inner corner highlighter and use this. I will be using this as my inner corner, but I'm going to grab it on my finger and putting it on top of this other shimmer just for extra. So same thing, you pat it and then you pat it on your eye. You don't want to drag it. So just for an extra pop of shimmer like that. Beautiful. And now we're gonna use this as the inner corner. So I'm gonna grab a brush like this. This is my inner corner brush, and try touch it. No, I'm gonna touch it and then spray it. I'm gonna spray it with my e.l.f. setting spray and add this in the inner corner here like this, so we don't create any fallout. Oh, so pretty. Now, when she says to use this in the inner corner, she means to put this shade in the actual inner corner here, right here where I put the dark shade. But I wanted to create something different because I've seen this look before. And I'm going to use this in the actual inner corner of my eye. So I'm still kind of following the steps as what the shades are telling me to do. So let's move on to the bottom lash line. For the bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with Smoke right away, right here. And I'm going to use the same flat brush and smoke out this under eye area. Look at that, beautiful. Look how nice this eye looks. Now I'm gonna do it on this eye. Perfect. Now I'm gonna clean this brush. Don't worry about the outer corner. I'll show you a trick how to fix that fast. So I'm gonna go into the Crease shade, which is this medium brown, and diffuse this sharp bottom lash line here. Okay, now grab the smaller fluffy brush, clean it up to make sure we don't have any residue on it, and blend this bottom lash line. Now I'm gonna take in, here's the trick. Now I'm gonna take in my concealer brush. This is the Rare Beauty concealer brush. I love it that it's dense and angled, and kind of use it to clean the outer corner and create that nice lifting effect of the eye. It works better than, and you can also clean like this, see? It works better than using a beauty blender, I find, because the beauty blender, yes, it has a tip here and it's easy to do, but I find this much easier, faster. Okay, so now what I like to do, I'm gonna use the same Morphe blinked brush, and this is this one that I use for my inner corner, and I'm gonna go into the Star Glow highlighter, just a tiny bit, and just add it right underneath the brow bone. Very small touch, very small touch. I don't drag it in the pen, I don't scoop it, I only touch it. Remember that. This palette is very, very sensitive. If you scoop it, it will create a mess and it will wreck your shades. So the eyes are done. I'm gonna apply mascara. So for mascara, I'm gonna use my Princess Lash mascara. And enjoy this intermission, and I'll be right back. So here are the eyes all done. I'm gonna leave you up close so you can see the complexion, the blush, the highlighter, still glowing and shining through. The eyes turned out very good, a very minimal, smoky, neutral eye I've created with a little bit of pop of color in the middle. I just love it. I love her shades. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts soon, but let's apply some lip oil. Right now I have the Tower 28 almond lip oil on my lips, and on top I'm gonna add the Merit lip oil, and this is in the shade Taupe. Okay, you guys, so let me give you my final thoughts. Here is the final look from afar. I think it looks beautiful up close, afar. I did not add anything else on my eyes, like in the waterline. I wanted to leave the look just with the shades from this palette. Final thoughts on this palette. Go get it if you can. If you love Natasha Denona, it's just out of this world. The shades look like they're similar to other shades. Like, I find them similar to be like a neutral palette, but they're not. They're just out of this world. They're so smooth. They are perfect shades to create a full eye look from beginning to end. The blush and the highlighter are just one of my favorites in this palette. I love that everything is in one. I can just grab this in the morning when I'm busy and I'm in a rush, and I can just use this palette to create a beautiful glam night look or day look, however you prefer to do. It is just stunning. Like, look at the glow, look at the shades. You can build it up. You can add more highlighter and more blush. You can add a little bit more intense on your eye if you prefer. And it's true that in Natasha Denona's video, her eye look looks a little bit more cool tone with the same palette that she used. However, if you do want to achieve that, definitely recommend her Big Glam palette. It has more silvers in there, and you can use that if you want more of a cool tone. But I think this is by far one of my favorites I've purchased and did a look with, and I'm sure I'm going to love her glam palette, which I can't wait to use in a future video. I will use that when I do a full makeup of all of these new things I bought during this VIB sale or whatever I got for my upcoming birthday. I can't wait. Now, definitely recommend it. I know this palette is $78 on the Canada Sephora website. I'm just loving it. I'm definitely recommending it. For me, I'm happy I purchased this. It's just, I have no words to describe how happy I am to have this palette. It's just so beautiful to hold. I know it's gonna be a lot of fingerprints on it, but that doesn't bother me. It's how it performs inside, and I love that it's actually protected and the shades won't break. Now, like I said, a lot of people have caused a lot of like yuckiness in their palette, but you can see that it still looks quite intact. My recommendation is, when you do use the shimmers, you saw that I've used the shimmers after I had a full face of foundation, blush, and highlighter, and I didn't have any fallout. However, I've seen some videos where the fallout was very like a lot on the cheeks, and I was scared about that. But if you use it gently, you can drag it a bit and then pat everything in and use it that way by patting it on your eye. Guaranteed there's no fallout, and guaranteed the shades look beautiful in your pan and not like you scooped it out. So that is a recommendation that I can give you. Be careful with that to avoid fallout and to avoid any type of like damage inside your palette. And yeah, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you picked this up, if you have the glam palette, if you love this look. I would love to talk to you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe, and that would mean so much to me. And you guys always remember, always be yourself, and I will see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.